Welcome to Peace in the Valley. Today I'm going to give you a summary of what we're doing in this video, and that is we're going to make a lawn trailer that can do lots of different things. You can build it DIY really cheap, and I think you're going to like this. But I've given a summary here so that way if you don't like it, just go ahead and skip, but otherwise stay and watch. Give me a like, thumbs up, and be sure to share this because I think this will benefit a lot of people. This trailer is so durable you can even drive over it when you feel like it. Welcome to Peace in the Valley, where adventure starts at home. Hey Peace in the Valley friends, it is nice to see you all. Hopefully it's nice to see me. I got a new project, which I seem to always have. So, I'll show you first what I got done. I changed my fender flares. One got damaged and decided to change them all. It's actually kind of a job to get them to fit, but we did. So I think that's pretty good. I do have a little bit of rust up under this one, which I didn't know, but I guess what can you expect for a 2004? I did spray underneath with the anti-rust on both sides, and I think I'll be putting a piece of plastic or stainless steel or something up underneath to help stop it from happening anymore. Okay, so let's on to what I got. I purchased this plastic. It's 3/8 inch thick. It is super slick. It's a high density poly something or other. And what I'm going to do with it is to make a wheelless yard trailer. Yeah, I don't even know what else to call it. It's a sliding mat that we're going to put a steel interface on the front up here, a way that I can hook it up to any tractor or a chain or something like that. Then the plan is to be able to load it full of stuff with the loader, push it or pull it to wherever I want, and then I can just use the scoop right on the ground to drive over it and scrape it all off. It'll also make it, I think, easier for other things too, like putting it in the back of the truck and just pulling the whole load out at one time. I keep a small stockpile of steel, and one of it is this stuff. It's 1/8 of an inch by, I don't know, 3 inches maybe. And I'm thinking I will line top and bottom, the front edge. Let's see what it actually is. 2.5 by 1/8 inch. And I've got some longer pieces up in my scrap. I guess it's not really scrap, but I've got some longer pieces in storage. So we'll cut a couple of 48 inch pieces. And we'll do one for top, one for bottom. We'll screw holes through it. That will be our initial edge, steel edge, and we'll put bolts through it. I found 6 bolts and nuts combos. So we've got the hardware that we need. Now we just gotta use our brains. The piece of plastic I measured is 48.5 inches wide. I want this to be exactly the same, so that way if it hits the corners or edges, it'll deflect against the metal. This is supposed to be ultra strong plastic, and I think it is. It's what they use for like the bottom of snow blades. So I thought, why not have something like that out on the yard? I tried to find one online, couldn't find one, so I thought I'll just go to my local plastics dealer and see if he can sell me the sheet, and he was more than willing to sell it to me. got our holes drilled now on both pieces, so that's ready to go. Now we've got to cut our angle iron right here, and we're going to cut it about 3 inches. We're going to put it right here and right here. Yeah, they're not perfectly square. That was not too bad. I took this angle iron and bent it to be about 130-degree angle so it could slide over things that are on the ground easier. We now have the holes drilled. We have the angle iron cut and bent. You can see that right there. And now we're going to weld these on. This plan went through multiple revisions. So right here, I was actually going to have the chains hook up to these sliders, which actually still wouldn't be a bad idea, but I ended up using hooks instead. So if you hear me say some things that you see aren't done at the end, it's because there was lots of changes. I still can't say enough good things about this little Harbor Freight welder. It is fantastic. You can turn the power weight up, you can turn the feed way up, or turn it way down depending on what you're welding, but it does a really good job. We're going to take our hooks that we had left over from when we welded those onto the tractor, and we're going to put these on this side. Still trying to figure this out. I think I am sure of putting these right here, where most of the weight is probably going to be divided up. About right there. It's still pretty hot, so I think we'll separate it. We do a lot more welding than what you actually see here. We're just tacking it down, and then we complete the welds a little bit later. Okay. Our hooks are welded on. Hopefully it'll be fine. All looks good. Got one thing left to do. Let's put it together. Our next step is now at the back of the truck here. That's where my sheet of the high density plastic is. And we are ready to drill the holes right here, all the way down. And I think that's going to work, that we can just drop in the bolts right down through it just temporarily, make sure nothing moves. Worked. Okay. So why would you go with a trailer like this instead of say another kind of a trailer with wheels? What would the advantage of this be? Well, I think it's pretty simple. If you're limited on space, this trailer can work fantastic because you can put this up in the garage. You can put it up in the shed against the wall. Another thing is being limited on space possibly, is you could drive right over this. You're not limited because there's a trailer in the way. You just drive right on top of it. What's the disadvantages? Well, disadvantage would be that you can't drive it out on the road. Yeah, obviously. Another disadvantage might be you cannot, well, the advantage of not being able to drive on the road would also be you don't have to license it. Another disadvantage would be it doesn't have sides, so you wouldn't be able to hold quite as much. I guess quite a bit as much, but that's okay. This just gets us started. There's really not too many disadvantages that I can think of. It might tear up your lawn if it's been really rainy, but we're going to find out and see how that works, because I'm not sure that it would, because you're actually dispersing the weight a lot further than if you were driving through your yard. And we got one last one here. Okay, we'll put the bottom bracket on now. Yeah. You know, another advantage that I just thought of is the ability that you can take multiple trailers with you. Say I'm traveling down to Kentucky and I have a hard time maneuvering the 14-foot trailer that's behind me. I might have a harder time maneuvering in the mountains when I'm going up the hills. So what can I do? I can use this one, of course. Looks like Angel might be coming to join us. She's walking home from work. How many of you get to be close enough to walk to work? Angel may be close enough to walk to work, but I'm not. She's bringing up the trash can too. My haircut. Oh yeah, I did get a haircut.
You look good.
Yeah. Angel says I look good. So what do you think? Does that look good? Okay, here it is. Finished. This is prototype number 1. And Angel is right. It is kind of small, but it fits in the back of a truck. If you wanted it bigger, could you make it bigger? Yeah, you can get 5x10 sheets of this. I specifically asked for the 4x8 because I needed to fit in the back of the truck. Otherwise, it would be on the wheel wells. So there is a reason why I got this size. Besides, a lot of people, small mowers, trailers, or tractors may not be able to pull that much. This here shows how easy it can move in and out of the back of the truck. Very little effort. Okay, next let's look at how chains might hook to it. So, get the fits in. Fits in. And here you would have the tractor hitch, whatever, right in the middle. And you know, another advantage is you don't have to back up perfectly. You could back up over here, and as you pull, it'll go to the middle. And that would be your hitch. Simple, huh? I think it's time for a real world test. Remember the mat we just made? Right down here, I put a tarp over top. Okay, we're gonna test this out, and we need a bunch of compost. And as you can see, there is just big hills of mulch. I think all of this would be good for the garden. That looks like pretty good soil there. I'll take it. So that is one scoop right there. Yeah, that looks like real nice material to mix with manure. You can see bugs going in it. That's great. You can see how much we got here. I think it's a good idea having a full-size bed if you want to load it up. And it actually lowered down quite a bit. I didn't realize how much weight that would be. Yeah, I think we got a pretty heavy load compared to even when we have the backhoe on, but I don't know. It's not hanging down as far as the van, so that's good news.
But he just hasn't moved. I'm afraid he's dead.
Okay.
I think he just moved over.
Here is our pile of mulch, and I should have hooked the chains up before. Right now, but the hooks are right there, so I think we can get to it. We are going to have an issue because I didn't really design it for that kind of... Do you think this is going to actually work? Or is it just going to break? Or maybe the tractor won't even be able to pull it out. I have no idea what's going to happen. I haven't done it before, and obviously my trailer that we designed for this whole project never had sides on it. So the truck has sides. So it's going to be holding a lot. And we're just going to see what's going to happen here. I have no clue. This is why I should have put them on first. Okay. That one is in.
I don't want to get snapped in the face.
Stand on the back side by the... See if it works. But the other thing I'm kind of worried about, concerned about, is that it just pulls it out underneath.
The whole thing's going. I mean, it's all moving.
The whole sack is moving?
Uh-huh.
This is our first try, and you can see it sliding out. This is why we have so many revisions here.
These two are red havens. They were delicious this year. They were loaded.
This time we zip tied the tarp grommets to the chains, and it started to pull out, but they pretty soon just ripped right out, and you can see them doing that right here. So this take didn't work so well.
Both there's only one hanging on because that one's got two.
Yeah. We had to unload this by hand this time. Too bad. So this yard trailer is going to be something to get used to. It works really well. It's just the operator at this point. Everything held up with no issue. The welds, plastic. It's actually not that heavy. It's slick enough that you can actually slide it around on the grass even when you've got quite a bit on it. You can pick it up, okay? And I bet we would have no problem hauling logs on it, a whole bunch of logs, and keeping them off the mud. So there's a few things I want to get on this that I want to do, and that is a couple things to figure out. One is to make it work where I can just pull the whole thing out of the truck. Well, tell me, what do you think this is useful or a complete waste of time and money? The sheet was $142, I think. The steel, by the time you have it all added up, probably close to 200. I don't know. But it's still a project that I think probably going to be, I think it'll find more use as we go along. It'll be something that you could put in the garden, pile up if you don't want to have the weight of the tractor on, and then just pull it out. Another thing is you'll be able to put this inside a truck bed, and it won't take up really any space if you want to travel somewhere. And that's usually our issue, is the one trailer, the big trailer, I don't want to pull up and down the mountain. But this here, no problem. We could throw rocks on it, stuff that the bucket might not hold, or if your bucket is full of other stuff. It'll give an extra storage, and being able to drive over it, I think, is an extra big bonus on that. Okay, here's a quick update on our fix, our gusset plate fix. Remember right here, this chunk had broken out of the RK25 transmission because this bar here does not go all the way through. You can see that. Well, here's the plate we made that fit in, and you can see that it's still doing really well. I don't see any issues at all. Even the paint is on. About 10 3/8 wide, 5 3/4 tall, and the angles, the 45-degree angles, are at 3 1/4. I am really happy with that fix. Don't forget, you got to buy the longer bolts, and you'll have to have metric, and those are also holding in quite well. I've decided to do a take 2 on this, on our project here. Our trailer, right back behind me, I have now cut in a place for straps. Right over here, we have our notches, and this is where the straps are gonna go. Okay, this is what I came up with to try to remedy the problem that we recently had. This is actually round 2, and I do not have it loaded as full as I did before because, well, I ran out of time yesterday. Version 2 here, everything about this trailer is still the same. Last time we saw the trailer pull out from underneath each time, and the goal is to solve that problem. We're still going to hook up the chains like we did before. Now this time we can also hook up the strap here, and this strap can hook right up to the chains. Maybe it could fit under the back of the bucket. The goal is to pull the whole load out at once. Do we need to put the boards under? I don't know. Let's keep pulling. Excellent. Now what we're going to do, that didn't work out half bad. No boards or anything. Okay, now we're going to back this out further. So now the trailer is on the ground. We could actually drive it around anywhere we wanted in the yard. Okay, so now we're just going to scrape right along it, and we'll haul it and put it away. So here's how easy it is to unload when you want to finish it off. You can also see that it really hasn't done anything to the surface. So here's my take on all of it. I think the tractor is doing a fine job. I think the trailer is doing a fine job. Truck is. it just might not be the greatest for this application. That, or maybe some more development needs to go into it. Hey, look, I found somebody's old glove. Huh. I could give it to Angel for her birthday. It was still a lot easier to dump this second load, just pulling it out with the tractor, than doing it all by hand. I can just imagine how much easier it would be too if it were logs. Well, the tractor does a really good job of cleaning up all the debris and stuff out of the yard. I should just make sure I do less. We'll pile the rest of this around this tree.
This may have been really stupid.
The dog's over there watching us like we don't know what we're doing. And he'd be the only one that knows that.